All right, let's resume here. So according to my GPS, the station site is just under 400 meters up ahead, which is like a marathon from here. So just before we get there though, there's actually, so there was at Linko, there was the siding, and then there was actually another, a secondary track. So again, the siding is just over there, and there was a secondary track that's supposed to start up over here somewhere, and that would have been on the south side. So there is this. I wonder what this is. Never saw this. It's like a little road here. So it is now a number of months later. We were here in late October 2024. It is now the third weekend in May 2025. So we know now what is going on here. So it looked like there was a road going up that way. This is the south side of the grade heading back towards the highway and the Canadian Pacific grade. What you see here is the remains of a road that was coming in from the highway. And here you can see this ditch here where the culvert used to be. And the road would have gone back that way. So I want to say a big thank you to Jim and Jim for this information. So if I understand things correctly, in the late 1950s, the station here at Linko was gone. And so, again, that information that both gentlemen gave me, the station wasn't there. So obviously it was destroyed by fire. Something happened to the station, because the reason for this road was this was now the stop here at Linko. This was actually a flag stop. So if you go on my website, you'll find a link in the description, and you'll find some pictures that were given to me by both gentlemen. So what was here, you actually see some, especially one of them, you actually see a house in the background. So you'll see the main track, you'll see the passing track, so basically the siding right here, and then in the background you see a house. So here at the end of the 1950s, there was a house, and so both gentlemen told me that this was the flag stop. So you'd wait here for the train, and the person that lived here, the home that was here, what they did was they charged you a fee. I think they said about $5 or something like that, and you could park your car here and leave your car. And both of them were taking the train up past Tannen to near the water tank on Eva Lake. So again, there used to be a home here. So it was funny, when we were here last year, I was trying to figure out what the heck this was, because you sort of have this upland area kind of in the middle of the swamp, and I was wondering if this was somehow or another railway related. Well, kind of in a roundabout way it is. So you can kind of see there's this flat area here, and so again there was a home here, and again people would park their cars and take the train from here. I don't know if it was a common thing with a lot of people, but at least both of those gentlemen mentioned that. Here you can see some of the vestiges of the snow that came down yesterday. Both of those gentlemen mentioned that that's what they did. They left their vehicle here and they waited for the train, and they took the train up the line. So again, somewhere in this area here, because again, if you go to the website and you take a look at that picture, you will see the home very distinctly right here in the background. And this is something here. The heck is this? I don't know what that is. It's a big chunk of metal. So I'm guessing the home was right here somewhere. So just a kind of a neat little sort of addendum to the story. So first of all, it tells us what happened with the station at Linko, which doesn't really jive with the official account. And then kind of interesting the fact that, you know, people sat here and waited for the train. You can see there's a couple of ties here. And from the highway, you can see the where they've dug up the road. So maybe what I'll do right now is, this doesn't show up on any maps as far as I know, not even the 1959 map. This is not here. So I can show you the LiDAR image and you'll see the road coming off the highway coming into here. That's like the third westbound. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, we gotta get out of this. Can't maneuver through here. So our usual Canadian Pacific load, intermodal. Again, I've mentioned on numerous occasions, I'm not really a train guy. There's a piece of culvert there. I'm not really a train guy. I'm a history guy, so, you know, the operation of the railway and, you know, the locomotives and stuff on there are not really my cup of tea. More the history of the line and its importance and why it was built and how it was built and sort of the progress of the line, how it changed hands and stuff. You can see some of the beaver stuff here. Middle engine. Again, would have been kind of neat to see the trains kind of running side by side through this area. Whoa, big hole. So that clump of trees up there is, I think, where Linko Station was. That's where it marks out anyway on the map. And other than that little road that we saw, it's the only patch of dry ground in the area. Few empty grain cars. Yeah, you can just see how brutal the grade is in there with all the alders and stuff. I could walk through there if I didn't have the bike. There's no way I'm getting through there like this. Oh. Pushing a bike is not fun through this. You can see it's not much better in here. Oh. Oh. Okay, so let's hold up here for a second and then we'll take a look here. All right, so I think this is where Linko Station would have been. Again, it's not particularly easy to see much in here, but really it's the only kind of dry patch in this area here. And again, this is where the mileage works out for the on the map. So let's talk a little bit about this station here. Grab my, if I can get my notes out of my pocket here. They seem to be stuck. Too many pieces of paper here. Okay, so again, this was an original station on the line. A Grand Trunk Type E station was built here in 1910. The building here was apparently sold in 1960. Now, what's interesting about this is the name of the station. So, as we've mentioned numerous times, Grand Trunk used an alphabetical naming system. So basically the letters of the alphabet. So where things get screwed up is right here and just to the south of us at Raith. So they don't follow the normal lettering pattern because basically the stations are Griff, Horn, and then Raith used to be called Dexter originally, and then you have Linko, and then we continue on with James. So what we have here is we have two stations, basically where the I station should have been, and so again we're not really following the normal pattern here. So again, not sure where Linko came from. Again, maybe the I for the I station, but again, there's supposed to be one station where there's two, right? So again, not quite sure. I did come across something. It said that apparently Linko was used to mimic a nearby Canadian Pacific station, but the nearby Canadian Pacific station is called Argonne, right? Because there's Raith and then Argonne, so I'm not quite sure. So the siding here was taken out of use in 1987, and then it remained a station on the line until the line was torn out in or the line was abandoned in 1994. So just an addendum to the video here. Again, this is the spring of 2025, so May 2025. Again, we were here in October of 2024. You can see what the grade looks like at this time of the year. You can understand why they did not turn this into a road, a logging road like all the other sections. It's very, very wet in through here. So what I just wanted to add to the video was some new information. So according to a book that I have on Western Canadian railway stations, it says that this station was decommissioned and sold off in 1960, which is very similar to a lot of the other stations. However, if you watch the beginning of the segment here, when we were further back over there, two gentlemen, Jim and Jim, basically told me in the late 1950s the station wasn't here because people were using Flagstop that was over there. So apparently in the late 1950s this station was no longer in use, or it was gone, or something happened to it. But I think in one of the pictures on the website that you can see, I don't think there's anything here, and I think the comment was that the station was no longer there, and that was in 1957. So just add that information to the record. Okay, let's pause here and continue on with the videos.